So, when you come up against a huge problem, what's your first move? Most of us, we just start working harder. We throw more hours, more effort at it. But today, we're going to dive into this really powerful Japanese approach to problem solving. It's from Kenichi Ohmae's classic book, The Mind of the Strategist. And it basically says, hold on, more effort isn't the answer. A sharper mind is.
Let's kick things off with an analogy that gets right to the heart of this whole thing. Most of us tackle problems with what you could call brute force. It's like standing in front of a brick wall and just hitting it over and over, hoping it'll break. But a strategist? They don't waste their energy on the wall. They take a step back, and they calmly look for the hidden door. And that's the key difference right there. It's not about strength, it's about seeing the problem in a totally different way.
And the guy who really brought this way of thinking to the world is Kenichi Ohmae, who people often call Mr. Strategy. And here's the best part of his central idea. Strategic thinking isn't some kind of genius talent you're born with. Not at all. It's a mental muscle. And just like any other muscle, you can train it, you can strengthen it, and you can make it work for you.
Okay, so how do we actually start building that mental muscle? Well, Ohmae says it's not about, just random brainstorming. Great strategy always begins with a clear and powerful framework for analysis. This is like the blueprint that gives your thinking a solid foundation, and it stops you from getting totally lost in all the details.
And this right here is Ohmae's most famous framework, the 3 C's. Its power is in how elegantly simple it is. It forces you to ask 3 really fundamental questions. First, the customer. What do they truly want or need? Second, the competitors. What are they good at and where are they weak? And third, the company, which really means you. What are your unique strengths and resources? Ohmae argues that a winning strategy is always found in that sweet spot where these 3 circles overlap.
And this all points to a really crucial idea, relative superiority. Look, you don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to be an all-arounder who's just kind of average across the board. The key is to find that one thing your customer cares about the most, and then become decisively, undeniably better than your competition in that one specific area. It's a specialist's game, not a generalist's.
Think about it like this. Imagine 2 restaurants. Restaurant A has this huge menu, right? 100 different dishes, but honestly, they're all just okay. Then you have Restaurant B. They only make 5 types of biryani, but it is the absolute best biryani in the entire city. So which one has a line out the door every single night? It's Restaurant B, of course, because it totally gets relative superiority. It has mastered the one thing that truly matters to its customers.
All right, so we've got the framework, we've got the what. Now let's dig into the how. What are the actual mental tools that strategists use to find those hidden doors in the wall?
A lot of the time, we burn all our energy solving the wrong problems because we're asking the wrong questions. For example, let's say a city is facing a massive traffic jam problem. The superficial question, the one most people ask, is this: how can we accommodate all this traffic? And that leads to the obvious, super expensive, and often ineffective solution of just building more roads.
But a strategist completely reframes the issue. They ask a much deeper, more fundamental question: why are so many people going to the same place at the same time? And suddenly, that question unlocks a whole universe of better answers. Flexible work hours, remote work options, better public transport. See? They didn't just treat the symptom, they went after the root cause. And a super simple but crazy powerful tool for this is the 5 whys technique. Whatever problem you're facing, just ask why at least 5 times. Sales are down. Okay, why? Because our competitor's cheaper. Why are they cheaper? Because their manufacturing cost is lower. Why is their cost lower? You keep digging and digging until you blow past all the surface-level symptoms and you hit the true, actionable root of the problem.
And really, what this is all about is breaking free from what Ohmae calls mental rigidity. Our brains, they love shortcuts and assumptions. For decades, the entire luggage industry just assumed suitcases had to be carried. It was a fixed fact, a rule. Then someone asked a beautifully simple question: why? Why can't we just pull them? And just like that, the wheeled suitcase was born, and it changed travel forever.
Okay, so this takes us a little deeper, because beyond all the frameworks and the tools, strategic thinking is really about cultivating a certain kind of mindset. It's not just about what you do in a crisis, it's about your default way of seeing the entire world.
So what does this mindset look like? Well, it starts with a childlike curiosity, always asking why. It means having a mind that's flexible like water, not rigid and brittle like a stone. But it's not just a passive thing. A true strategist has a hunger to win. They see constraints not as barriers, but as creative challenges that actually force innovation. And finally, they learn to trust their intuition, that gut feeling that comes from unconsciously connecting all the dots. If you want to see this in action, look no further than the difference between Kodak and a jazz musician. Kodak had a rigid mind. Get this, they actually invented the digital camera, but were so attached to their profitable film business that they just refused to adapt. A strategist, on the other hand, is like a great jazz musician. They don't get married to the plan. They listen to the room, they read the situation, and they improvise based on new information to win the battle, not just to follow the sheet music.
Now here's where it gets really good. While these ideas came from the world of high-stakes Japanese business, their real power is in how they apply to, well, everything. Your career, your relationships, your personal goals. You can be the strategist of your own life. Think of yourself as the CEO of You Incorporated.
So let's take that 3Cs model and apply it directly to your career right now. Who is your customer? It could be your boss, maybe your clients, or your industry as a whole. What do they really value? Now, who are your competitors? Your colleagues, maybe others in your field. And the company? Well, that's you. What are your unique skills? What are your weaknesses? Answering these questions honestly can bring an incredible amount of clarity to your very next career move.
What this all boils down to is a fundamental shift in perspective. Adopting a strategic mindset it's empowering. It transforms you from someone who's a victim of circumstance into an active player who is shaping their own future. You're no longer just reacting to what life throws at you, you're playing the game with real intention and skill.
And maybe the most liberating idea in all of Ohmae's work is this. We often fail not because we're missing information, but because we're missing insight. We have all the dots right in front of us. We just fail to connect them into a meaningful picture. The solution isn't some secret piece of data out in the world. It's the ability to unlock the connections that are already present in your own mind.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time you find yourself facing a wall, a seemingly impossible problem in your work or your life, what are you going to do? Are you going to put your head down and just push harder? Or are you going to pause, take a breath, and ask your inner strategist, where is the door?